Alright YouTube, how's it going? Different direction in the video. So, today's escapades. I was going to do a video on this. This is a Ninja Axis base. So, I traded this maybe about a year ago for a Bronco and since I got it, I always thought there was something wrong with the neck. It played fine when I first got it. It was fine. It just wasn't. I couldn't get it set up the way I like it. So I thought it was an issue. And today I found out what the problem was. So I don't know if you can see. Try and get that so you can see it. Can you see that? The end of the fretboards just popped off of the neck. Now, I've got guitars like that one. That's 1980s. It was March 1980 that was born. And there's plenty of life in the truss rod. With this, once this happened, I pulled all the truss rod and all that out. There's no travel left in the truss rod whatsoever. What I mean by that is, just had a pencil there. So, just draw a wee diagram here. So, that there is rough, it's crude drawing there, truss rod, but the rod that runs through your neck, it's got the adjuster here, which is the bit at the top of your neck. It's got a square block which is notched into your neck, so when you tighten it, you're twisting this rod, and that's what, once you put the string, you've got string tension in your neck which gives you relief. As you tighten it, it straightens the neck back to obviously compensate for the string tension. With that isn't a full threaded rod, it's only threaded about a ½ inch or an inch at the top and bottom. So I've took out the adjuster at the top that actually started to take out the full rod, which means it was stuck. So I could see, but I could actually, if you look down, there's an actual wee window where they put the block in at the bottom of the heel. I could see that the threaded rod was coming out. Then I could see, when I put it back in, how far the threads went. And it's only about an inch, maybe an inch and an inch, I think, maybe a ½ inch. And it's about an inch at the top as well, because when I started taking it, it took the whole rod, started taking the whole rod out. So the whole rod is went its full travel. So there's no more adjustment, it's went as far as it went. So what I did was, because I knew this problem was happening, so what I did was I jammed and held the rod at the bottom. So I took the neck off, held the rod at the bottom, and took the adjuster out altogether. I took a ferrule, or one of the bolts for an acoustic guitar, cut the nut on, end off it, slid it on top of the rod and put the adjuster back on and started to tighten it up. So I got the strings on, everything, and then reset the neck, and I've started to get tension, I've started to bring the neck back, because the neck was bone, like that. I've got it so far, then the next thing I heard was a pop, and then this happened. Now, I traded this for a Bronco, and I'm not for 1 second I think of who was a trade. This is nothing to do with him, nothing to do with him at all, because he literally only had this guitar for a day. He picked it up. I seen it on Facebook or Gumtree, and he did what he normally does, beats me to a guitar. So I phoned up for the guitar to buy it. Person said no, it's already gone. Within an hour, the video went up with him playing it. So I messaged him and I said to him, I'll swap you a Bronco for this. So he literally only had it for a day, so it was nothing to do with him. And if you know anything about guitars, for a guitar to use its full travel of a truss rod takes years. Or somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. And the guy who got this off, he definitely knows what he's doing, so it's not him. It definitely wasn't him, so I don't blame him whatsoever for this. That's nothing to do with him. But it brings me to the point of, when you go to buy a guitar, a second-hand guitar, you need to kind of know what you're doing and what you're buying, because if you can buy a second-hand guitar, and it could have problems like this. So don't be scared to take an Allen key with you, a couple of Allen keys for checking the truss rod, and just check the guitar over, because you could be somebody out there that knows that the truss rod's knackered and then sell it with a knackered truss rod. As I say, I'll stay again, nothing to do with who I got the guitar off of, nothing to do with him, because I don't think for 1 minute he knew. If he knew that truss rod was knackered, he would not have sold the guitar. He probably didn't even bought the guitar in the first place. As I said, he didn't. I don't think he had it for a day when I texted him and asked him to swap for the Bronco. So I don't hold him, nothing to do with him. But, and as I said as well, it takes a long time for you to use the full length of travel for your truss rod. A long time. I've got 70s, 80s guitars. My mates have got 70s, 80s guitars. Some have got 60 guitars that still haven't used their full length of travel. So just be honest. So this is a project that's going to happen. But as I says, when I bought it, I kind of knew it probably needed a new neck anyway. I just tried to avoid getting a new neck because of the headstock matches the body. But it just looks like I'm going to have to do it. So then, talking about buying second-hand guitars. This is another one of the guitars, because I like to show guitars that you don't have to spend a lot of money. You get a good instrument, especially when you're starting it, or even just a guitar for messing about with. I got this guitar maybe about a year and a half ago. I think I only paid about 20 quid for it. So it's still got the original pickups, original pots, original jack. The only thing, original machine heads, the only thing I changed was the nut, because I actually had this as an 8-string guitar, and the bridge. So the bridge is set up, I could put 8 strings through this, no problem. I've still got the nut for it as well, and I've got the machine heads. But the neck was just too thin to take it. I just couldn't get the thing straight. It was going to end up just snapping the way this did. So I just put it all back to a 4-string. Could be a 5-string. I think it would support 5 strings, just not 8. Too much tension. But it's a strange guitar, this, because I've never had a 4-string P bass like this. It's got a really wide string spacing. So that's why when I bought it, I thought I'd make it an 8-string. But back to a 4. It's strange playing this, going for a normal 4-string to this. It's strange. But it's nice. So tones all the way up, volumes all the way up. Playing through my BH250 4x12 that I made myself. So that's tone all the way on. Tone all the way off is really bassy. Get a plectrum as well. I thought I had one down here. So this is it. it's a dead deep bassy, and that's a string, a bassy that's bassy, that sounds right in it. So it brings to another point, somebody asked me the other day why have I got so many P basses. They all sound different, they definitely all sound different. Think about basic P basses, no including my PJ bass. I've got, that's a P bass, I've got this, and I've got a red P bass, an aqua blue P bass, and a black one with tortoise, and they all sound different. They've all got different styles of necks as well. The black one's got a slightly a proper P bass neck. The aqua one's got a jazz style neck on it, quite thin. Fretboards are different. I mean, they all sound different. They all sound different. So it's quite cool. So this is another good bass for cheap. Especially if you don't really want to, if you're just getting into it, or you want to try a different style of bass. So if you've got a jazz bass, you want to try a P, what's the point of paying a lot of money for a P bass when you can get one to try it to see if you like the sound? But then the sound would be different, so then it's strange, and not all guitars sound the same as well. I mean, I've got the Duff McKagan, I call it Duff McKagan Squire. My mate's got the exact same guitar, and it sounds totally different. Or before I did anything to it, we bought one the exact same time. He bought the PJ itself, I bought it in amp. So I think mine's made in Indonesia, his is made in, his made in Indonesia as well, or China. China has made it. Sound totally different. Totally different. Another mate who's got one the exact same as mine, it's Indonesia, and I think it's only maybe 3 seal numbers of difference. And his sounds totally different. That was before I did anything to it. So it is, all guitars sound different. So anybody asking for excuse why so many, they all sound different. So yeah. So that's my wee video for this week. So, well, a guitar, you don't have to spend a lot of money for it to get a decent one. And be careful when you're buying guitars with truss rods and stuff. As I said, I can't express this enough. This is nothing. Malco's got nothing to do with this. As I said, he literally only had the guitar for a day, and then I got it off him. So, and it takes a lot of time for your truss rod to use all its travel. What I might do is when I get a new neck for this, I might strip the fretboard off this and show you the truss rod, because there's no way this is done over a long period of time. This has not just been done in a day, a week, even a year. What's happened to this truss rod has happened since the day either it's been a dodgy truss rod that's been put in the guitar at the factory, which I very doubt, or whoever's had this from you has cranked on that much. It's took up all the travel. I mean, I see an inch either side, that's a lot of travel. Do you know what I mean? And you shouldn't be cranking a truss rod all the time to tighten it. You should be loosening it off and tightening it up. You shouldn't just be cranking it all the time. So yeah, if you've ever got any issues with your truss rod, my advice would be, if you're changing strings, is just to loosen it off and then reset the guitar up. But once you've set a guitar up with the strings that you use all the time, mean, all the ones that I use rotor sounds on, the setup doesn't have to be done all the time, because the strings are, the guitar's set up to take these strings, so you might just need to do wee adjustments every wee while, but no, you shouldn't have to. This should not happen. So yeah, just be careful. If you go to buy a second hand guitar, I would advise taking Allen's wee, try the truss rod, just give it a wee wiggle. If you can't get any movement on it, I would think twice about buying it, because, but I obviously didn't check this. So there you go. But as I said, I do not hold Malcolm responsible, because he said he had it for a day, and if he knew that this truss rod was knackered, he would not have sold it, and he probably wouldn't have bought it anyway. So it's just been one of the things. So look after yourselves, and speak to you soon. Alright.